What's up, guys? Back at it with another One Piece video. As always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps out and means a ton, but we got to get into it because today we have to talk about Luffy because at this point, this man is basically like a jigsaw puzzle, putting all these different pieces together to seemingly become Joyboy himself. Maybe the reincarnation, I hope not. Maybe just the new person to attain the title. But before we talk about Luffy and Joyboy and Nika the Sun God and all this crazy stuff going on to make this weird jigsaw puzzle rubber man, we gotta talk about Zunisha, the person who made the claim, the elephant, whatever, that made the claim that he is Joyboy. First thing I want to bring up is Zunisha is not some omnipotent creature. It is not all-knowing. We have to remember that. This was not the narrator telling us that Luffy is Joyboy, it was Zunisha. Now, what did Zunisha base this off of? What was the knowledge at Zunisha's hand, foot, hoof, trunk, when he was making this decision or this claim? I would assume that he could sense Luffy's voice, willpower, haki, whatever, all of these things. He could hear the drums of liberation that were basically depicted as Luffy's heartbeat with the dum-dum-dum-dum on the panels, and Luffy seemingly coming back to life, which would also mean the heartbeat returning. And we also have this awakening, goopy mess that is floating up out of Luffy's face/hat. Yeah. Now, something I want to bring up with that is we've never, at any point in this series, as far as I can remember, seen anybody sense the fact that somebody is awakened. I can sense that they are an awakened devil fruit user. I don't remember anything like that ever happening, so can Zunisha sense that he is awakened? I think that one's actually kind of on the fence a little bit. Now, Zunisha's very huge. Maybe he could just see over there and be like, huh, Goopy. I've seen that before. He's an awakened Gumu Gumu no Mi user. Maybe, who knows. Either way, the awakening actually could still come into play with this. One last thing real quick before we go further. I don't think this is what's going on, but it would be absolutely hilarious if Oda was trolling all of us right now, and this actually wasn't Luffy awakening his devil fruit, if it was actually Luffy learning how to incorporate his heat/fire abilities like Red Rock, wherever that fire comes from, learning how to incorporate that into his body to heat up his rubber body to the point where he can mold it and shape it like molten or extremely, extremely hot rubber. Just saying, that would be actually hilarious if it wasn't actually the awakening. Don't think it's true, but just saying. But back to Zunisha claiming that Luffy is now Joyboy and the information he had at hand when making this claim. So willpower, this is a big deal in One Piece. It is all over the place. It can be manifested into haki, and we have this whole narrative theme of inherited will and all of these things. One thing I want to mention about your willpower in general, this even goes into real life. It is constantly changing, evolving, growing stronger as it is tested, as you experience more things in life, as you strain it and push it to the limit, it grows and changes. So as Luffy goes through severely straining moments, kind of like the one he's in right now, especially physically, yeah, this not only adds to haki as in a power system, but will growing and changing, evolving, becoming stronger over time in general for the individual. This can help to explain why Zunisha is now sensing Luffy and considering him to be Joyboy, considering Luffy and Zunisha have been in very close proximity before. Like, very, very close proximity. They had a whole arc together and stuff. They were on top of Zunisha himself. So they've been in contact. He's sensed Luffy before, but didn't call him Joyboy then. But moving past the will and the willpower and onto the heartbeat. What are some different things that can make a heartbeat sound different? The condition somebody is in, whether they're a strong individual or a very emaciated individual. Luffy is kind of at death's door right now, but he is a very strong individual, so that one's kind of a little wonky there at the moment. Is he strong? Is he weak? It depends on how you look at it at the very moment in time we are in. But also, I would assume biology has a lot to do with this. I would assume an elephant's heartbeat compared to a human's compared to a mouse's would sound pretty different. Not just in the amount of noise they make, but they would probably acoustically have a different pitch or whatever. I don't know, sound, music, whatever stuff. Anyway, terminology, words, hard. Either way, I think they would sound a little bit different. I would also think that a normal human's heart and a rubber person's heart, would probably also sound a little bit different. So wouldn't Luffy's rubber heart sound a little bit different from Zoro or Sanji's being flesh and blood? Now, even though I said I don't think we can really sense awakenings, like I said, Zunisha could just see it possibly, maybe from way over there, who knows, but can't necessarily sense it. However, since we're talking about the heartbeat and it sounding different depending on different variables, and I for one think that Luffy's awakening is going to be one of these variables that actually does affect the sound of his heartbeat. Not that that's going to be very important in very many aspects or scenarios, but in this specific one, it does kind of come into play. But with that aside, I think his awakening is going to allow his body to be much more malleable and pliable, almost like an ooze, like rubber is when it is superheated or at its melting point. It can be shaped, molded into almost whatever you want. Like I said, it's an ooze. It can be molded very, very freely. I also think it is going to allow him to do that to other things around him because, well, one, we've seen people do that with awakenings before, and his hat looked like it was doing that weird goopy thing too. So, if Luffy's body is now much more malleable and pliable, would that also not make his heart sound different than it did just a little bit ago? So wouldn't that also help Zunisha to hear the specific heartbeat? So taking this specific heartbeat, this specific will that we were sensing, this specific voice, being convinced that it is Joyboy, did Joyboy possibly have a very similar will to Luffy, possibly the exact same, dealing with not reincarnation, but inherited will? Could he have also possibly had a very similar heart from a biological level, meaning he had an awakened Gumu Gumu no Mi with this rubber malleable heart that makes a very distinct sound from any other heart on Earth? So it's possible that Luffy's been the first person in over 800 years to put together this puzzle of a human being needed to become or seemingly be the next Joyboy, even to people who were companions of Joyboy and knew him very well, even way back in the day. Now, to get a little out there, to kind of set the rest of this aside, just kind of have some fun and go out there and just say, what if? We don't really know a whole lot about Luffy's mother. Yeah, we're talking about Luffy's biology, him being a puzzle of a human being, and your biology from your parents has a lot to do with that. Now, once again, Luffy has these weird fire abilities. Red Hawk, Red Rock, the ability to manifest fire, seemingly, strangely. Now, I will say, doing just very, very, very minor amounts of research about this, I did see one article that said rubber, when it stretches, produces a lot of heat. When it retracts, it cools. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe Oda's just doing the kind of scientific route. I don't know. But to have fun with it on the One Piece side of things, considering we know basically absolutely zero about Luffy's mom at all, so half of his biology is kind of up in the air, and considering Lunarians have recently been introduced into the series and have fire abilities, would it not be kind of weird if Luffy was like quarter Lunarian, maybe? I don't know, maybe Mom was half Lunarian, maybe he's 8th Lunarian and Mom was quarter Lunarian. Maybe Dragon, broke her out of a research facility is similar to how Kaido broke out King. Maybe that's part of the reason why he became the world's most wanted man on top of being the leader of the Revolutionary Army. I don't know, I'm just piling things on here, I'm just asking what ifs. Yes, Lunarians have much greater fire control and fire abilities along with white hair and black wings. But if you are 3/4 or 7/8 human, you would assume that the Lunarian traits would start to fade away the lesser and lesser you have that blood within you. Now, that can also go to explain why Luffy doesn't just bust out fire abilities all the time. That could explain why he only has 2. A small, fast fire punch and a big, still probably pretty fast fire punch. The rest of his abilities are all stretchy rubber-based. So it's not like the majority of his moveset is fire. It's a very small portion. So maybe he just has a little bit of that ability left within his genes. I don't know, just kind of an interesting thought to go out there. I know plenty of people have brought up Sanji maybe having Lunarian DNA within his genes because, well, judge, experimentations, all of this weird crap. Yeah, I kind of get it. I don't know, maybe be an interesting kind of correlation connection between Luffy and Sanji on a genetic level. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but hey. That's why I said we're going out here and just asking what if. And on top of all of this, if he is quarter Lunarian, 7/8 Lunarian, that just adds another piece to that puzzle he had to gain. Because you would assume their heartbeat, going back to that whole heartbeat biology thing, would sound slightly different. So a 1/4, 3/4 human Lunarian hybrid with an awakened Gumu Gumu no Mi, and yeah, we're getting wild at this point. But that does connect back to that heartbeat stuff that I was talking about. It connects back to the fire abilities that Luffy has for some weird reason. I don't know why. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of interesting stuff to think about. Who knows? But with the first half of this video, I think that is a little bit more credible of an idea. This second half of the Lunarian thing, that's just me having fun and going out there with it, but still technically possible. Like I said, we have no idea about Luffy's mom. Like, nothing at all. The woman is a complete mystery. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and more importantly, go down in the comments and let me know your guys' thoughts down below. But with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.